So yeah, I mean, a little bit about good radio and why I love radio, I guess. I think, like, aside from the music content, again, I'm talking about the kind of the human presence, I guess, the editorial, the content, the links, the presenters, and also I've done a lot of like documentary radio as well, features and things like that, podcasts, as I said. So I think good radio is personal, and there's something like really intimate, I think, about radio as a medium. Just from how we consume radio, often we're in headphones or in our car, or listening whilst we're doing the washing up, or whatever it is. And there is that like kind of one-to-one relationship. Whereas I think with TV, quite often you might like sit together with people and watch TV. Maybe not so much if you're watching on your laptop, but yeah, so there's something really personal about it. Something that I really love about radio is that to me it feels like a very authentic medium, in terms of like when you look at TV programs, often, even reality TV programs are highly, highly constructed. Things are edited, to within an inch of their life. Whereas if you listen to live radio, you're listening to someone talking in the moment. And I think you get that sense of, immediacy and like a personal relationship. If you think about presenters that you really like, often you feel like you almost have a relationship with them. You know about their lives, you know about their taste, you know about their sense of humour, like the way, they're like, the way they speak, their kind of tics and all that sort of stuff. So good radio is, of course, engaging. It brings you in. You want to be part of it. You want to be part of that community. Again, this idea of like live radio, building a community. There is a two-way conversation. You've always got that kind of opportunity to communicate with the presenter, whether it's to ask for a request or to give a shout out. And yeah, also in terms of like community of interest, I think something I also really love about radio is it is the place of like special interest, niche interests, things that potentially wouldn't get commissioned or get airtime on TV, have this opportunity for like, whether it's on an online station or it's, even at the BBC, we get quite like niche content out there that wouldn't kind of go out on a bigger sort of more mainstream platform like TV. So yes, you also have that community of interest. If you think about things like, the Charlie Bones show, it feels like there's a real community around that show. And so yeah, 2 weeks I've done that one. I feel like it's quite a comforting medium. Like I said, often you listen when you're at home, maybe you're doing other stuff, doing the washing up, whatever. I'm just mentioning that because I do a lot of washing up in my life at the moment. It's far too much, and I always have the radio on. But yeah, it's quite comforting. Like I found it very comforting. It's like having a bit of companionship in the house. And yeah, not all radio is funny, but there is that opportunity. Again, with the live element, it can be surprising, it can be spontaneous. It's accessible. It's accessible as a listener. In terms of, you rarely do you pay to listen to radio, but also it's an accessible platform as a producer. You don't have to have loads of equipment, you just need a phone, essentially. You could make a podcast on your phone or on a basic laptop. You don't need any special equipment. Obviously, it's nice to have a nice mic. It's nice to have, like, good editing software, but I literally use Reaper, which is a very, accessible price point editing software. I have, a mic that I bought for £100, and I use that to work for clients like Sony, the BBC. So I feel like it's a very accessible in every way. And yeah, it's ever evolving and responsive, being kind of live and, a little bit lighter on production. It doesn't necessarily take, 6 months, a year, 2 years to get a podcast series out. You can make it that week, you can make it that day, you can respond to what's happening now. So yeah, just some of what I think makes good radio. And what I love about radio